everybody. Joyce here with the Traveling Gamblers, and I am here with Jon. Hello, Jon.
Hello, Joyce.
And today is day 18 of 26 days living on the edge. Cruise ship, that is.
So yesterday, when we woke up, we recorded our daily video. Then we went to Luminae for breakfast
We did?
with Christina and Nelson.
Yes. If you guys haven't noticed, Christina and Nelson have become pretty good friends of ours. We're really liking those two. We spend an awful lot of time together.
They don't want to be in the videos,
Yeah.
but it was funny because when we went to Blue the other night, someone recognized Joyce and myself and came up to us and said, "Oh, those are the people that..."
This must be your friends that you're spending your time with. It was very funny.
Yes.
So they have names, but not faces for you guys. But it is very funny. We are enjoying their company so much. They are really, really just terrific people. We feel very blessed to have met them. So, as Jon said, we went to breakfast with Christina and Nelson, and we really just took our time. We have been rushing and getting off the ship very early, and we knew that we were going to be in Marseille, France, yesterday, and we knew that we were going to be there for a while. I think it was back on board at 5:30. So we really just took our time because everything was right there. We were told from day one by multiple people, both Christina and Nelson and Jon and I, by different people in our lives, that Marseille and research that we did, that Marseille was 100% doable on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was absolutely accurate information.
I went out on the balcony to scope out the situation because there's going to be a shuttle that will take us into the city. And I'm looking, and there's multiple ships in port. So a lot of people were walking over to a shuttle, and there was such a long line. I go, Joyce.
It looked like it was going to be like an hour wait.
I think we should get a taxi.
Yeah.
But when we got off the ship, Celebrity had its own shuttle. Right there when we got off the ship, which I couldn't see from the balcony.
It was practically at the end of the gangway. It was just right there.
We got onto the shuttle and went to the city, walked around a little bit.
It was only about a 10-minute drive.
Yes, it was only about a 10-minute drive. Yeah. There were a lot of places to see. We were walking around a little bit. We were looking for the hop on, hop off, or it was a train.
Both.
Yeah.
So they had this thing called the La Petite train.
That's right.
And then they also had the hop on, hop off. Right.
Both were really crowded. I said to Joyce, maybe we should take a taxi.
Well, Christina and Nelson and Jon and I discussed it, and we said, let's go talk to one of the cab drivers and see how much it would be. Jon was really pushing for that because we've done that in the Caribbean, and it's worked out really well for us.
Yes. And the local taxi drivers know everything, and they will tell you about it, except our taxi driver didn't speak English.
But it's okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
It worked out. Fred? Yes, Fred.
Yeah, Fred.
So Fred said it would be €150 for the four of us for 2 hours, which we thought was very reasonable. There was an excursion from the ship, and the ship has wonderful excursions. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're overpriced and not worth it in our opinion. And one of them was the La Petite train, and it was the ticket to go on the La Petite train. They would take you there, and you got your ticket. And it was $69 a person. We went with Fred in a air-conditioned minivan for $75 a couple, so $37.50 a person. Mm-hmm. And he was outstanding. So we were a little bit concerned about the language barrier. Christina sat in the front seat, and she did a phenomenal job in communicating with Fred. And Fred took us to about
5 places.
5 or 6 major sightseeing places of interest that the La Petite train would have taken us to. And every time we stopped, he found another cab driver that he was friends with, and he would explain to them. They spoke English. The friend would communicate with Christina, and if we had any questions or there was something we wanted to see, they would communicate. The friend would be the interpreter basically. And every stop that we did, he did that.
Mm-hmm.
All the cab drivers apparently know each other in Marseille. And it was wonderful.
We saw some really nice sights and some really old buildings. It was
Absolutely
fantastic.
magnificent. So I'm going to just remind you that we are doing a video for every port that we go to. There will be another video. This is just a daily recap of living on the edge for 26 days. But every single port that we go to, we have been doing lots of recording, lots of photo taking. And when we have the opportunity to edit them and put them up, you will be seeing those. So this is just a kind of a brief overview.
Right.
But if you've never been to Europe, you have to go.
We asked Fred for a place to eat. I wanted some real coffee and a crepe. And so he didn't understand us, so we asked one of the other taxi drivers.
Right, but we also wanted lunch.
Right.
So he dropped us off at a place where there was lots of restaurants, and he recommended a place to us. And when we sat down, we tried our best to look at the menu, and it didn't seem like it was what we were looking for. So we left and went to another place. Everything was kind of right there.
We found a restaurant, had a light lunch. Then we walked back. We were heading back to the shuttle, but we stopped off at a store to get some soap. And
Well, he's missing a very important part.
oh, geez.
After lunch, we then went to another restaurant. Christina and Nelson shared a gelato milkshake, and Jon and I shared a Nutella crepe and coffee.
Yeah, that was really good, too.
It was very good. We had some kind of special
Chocolate something coffee.
Yeah, some kind of coffee with whipped cream and chocolate, and it was very good. And then after we had the crepe, we then found the soap shop. And we went in there and we bought French soap from Marseille. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, Marseille is where Provence is, and Provence is where the famous lavender fields are. So Marseille is very well known for lavender and soap. And so we got some lavender soap, and the soap is amazing. It smells phenomenal, very inexpensive, and we're excited about that.
We walked a little bit up the street, and the shuttle was right there. We hopped onto the shuttle, and they brought us back to the ship.
And also there's a little shop right there in the port. So for those of you that are planning this trip to know that. And the prices were very reasonable, very similar to what we found in the city center. We came back on the ship and we went to Cafe El Baccio, of course, to have a little coffee and tea at the end of our day. Then we promptly went back to our cabin. We showered and got dressed and went to dinner. And we had dinner at
the Cosmopolitan.
Christina and Nelson hadn't eaten there yet.
Right.
And it was really good. Dinner was delicious. And after we had dinner, we ate dinner a little later that night because we didn't get back on the ship until a little bit later. And of course we all had to shower and get ready for dinner. So we went to dinner at like 6:30. And normally we go to dinner at like 5:30. So by the time we finished dinner, it was like 8:30 already. And we went to the casino for a little while. And then we came up and we called it an early night because today we are in Villefranche, or also known for the area is Monaco and Monte Carlo. And we will tell you about today tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support. And as always, we hope you have a wonderful day.